everyone, this is Lara for our weekly English live. So please have a seat. Let's talk in English. Let me tell you how this works because maybe you don't know. Every Friday, 5:30-ish. So it's not exactly 5:30. It's 5:30-ish, 5:32, 5:33. We have an English live where I show up to speak in English with you guys. And you guys can also participate. How come? You can actually just click here in this camera with a plus symbol and you can request to participate in the live. So this is a way for you guys to practice English with me, and I don't know, maybe we can talk, or maybe you can learn something, or you can share your experience. And I am ready. I have my huge mug of coffee. I also have a huge bottle of water, which is stainless steel. And I have my Pomodoro timer also with me. So what I'm gonna do now is that I'm gonna set a 30 minutes timer because, guys, you don't know that, but this is actually something I want to, not that I want, something I need to improve is time tracking and time management. So I don't think most people would mind, for example, if, I paid for 1 hour ukulele class, but then the teacher was teaching me for 1 hour and 20 minutes. Good for me, bad for the teacher. You know, this kind of stuff. Normally, if I'm the customer or I'm the student, I don't mind if the person spends more time teaching me. That's it. So look here. I said the timer is not actually in 30. I put a little bit more. And I don't know if you can hear the clock ticking. Look. Pay attention, guys. Can you hear it? Don't know. I actually feel pretty cute today. I think when we dress this kind of blouse make us feel prettier. Well, probably is making me prettier, not only feel prettier or prettier. Don't forget, guys, accent. There is not only American accent. I use American accent. However, sometimes just for the shits and giggles, I'm gonna use a different accent. But you know, let me tell you something. Something very weird and remarkable that happened to me this week. I live in a place called Arraial da Ajuda, which is a district or a county of Porto Seguro. And to go from Arraial to Porto Seguro, you gotta take a ferry. So you gotta take a ferry. And the day before yesterday, I went there because I needed to go to see the ophthalmologist. This is where we normally confuse these verbs, because in Portuguese you would say I'm going to the doctor, but in English, I'm gonna go to the doctor, but in English you would say I'm gonna see the doctor. We're gonna use the verb see. I'm gonna see the doctor. So I went to see the doctor on Wednesday, and on my way back home, I was just leaving the ferry, and a lady opened her car door and hit me with her car door. And now I have leg pain, hip pain, belly pain, everything pain, and I have some, I forgot the words. I think it's bruise. I have some bruise. Let me check it out. Yes. So now I have some bruise on my leg, and I can see like some small. Do you know what is a bruise? It's like BRUISE. It's like a purple circle we get in a part of the body when something hits this part of the body very strongly. Let me change here so you can check it out. So yes, these guys are bruise. But okay, getting back to me. So yeah, when people say normally how do I say that? Normally people were gonna say, yeah, like me. Sometimes you really mean they were lucky, but sometimes they weren't lucky at all, and they're just like, yeah. I don't want to say unlucky me, right? But it's a sarcastic way to say that you weren't lucky. So yeah, lucky me, guys. The lady hit me with the door, and I was the chosen person for it. What can I do? And I don't know if you guys get bruised easily. I don't actually. Well, I get a little bit easier than it was than when I was younger, because my skin color is a bit lighter than it was when I was younger, because normally I'm lacking some sunlight and vitamin D. So yeah, sometimes I'm gonna look yellow, and people are gonna ask me, oh, do you really live in Bahia? It's like, yeah, I do live in Bahia. Can you believe that? My skin color doesn't tell that, but doesn't matter. Ay. Okay, let me check my timer to see how much time do we have left. I don't know if you can listen to the fan, to the wind, so I'm gonna turn off the fan. Okay. Well, today is not that hot, so I don't think I'm gonna be pretty hot here, but the window's closed, the door's closed, so maybe it's gonna get a bit hotter, but it doesn't matter, guys. If you are listening to me well, I'm already pretty happy. So okay, let me tell you something. First, I would like to check if everything is going well on our life. And what else? I can't say what else, but I think what else is much nicer. Yeah, look, I'm here. What happens if I click here? Let me check. I'm gonna find out what does happen when I click on my live using my computer, actually. Okay. Oh, can you believe there is just one person missing to get to 500 followers? When I first started my Instagram account, I remember every follower was was an achievement, right? Then, when I was almost getting to 500, I was in a mentorship. Okay. I was just checking because I was gonna say mentoring, but now I said mentorship. So yeah, so it's not. I don't think. Well, okay. Mentoring is additionally referred to as mentorship. So yeah, both are okay. So I was in a mentoring program, or I was in a mentorship, and I remember the lady, my mentor, said, it doesn't matter how many followers do you have if they want to buy from you, because there are people with tons of followers that sometimes cannot sell anything. So I remember when I was almost getting to 500, I deleted a lot of people. I hope none of these people will show up here. But anyway, so yeah, I deleted some people, like around 70 to 80 people. And then I got to almost 400 followers again. And it was so sad because, the number, it makes something to our head, guys. We care about the numbers. And of course, that when we get higher followers number, we see that as a result of our job. Like, okay, there are these 500 people checking my profile and something like that. But I can tell that, well, most people I follow, I don't check their posts. And most people I follow, I don't check their stories. Just because there is not enough amount of time for that. So we start to prioritize what is more important for the moment we are living. And maybe you follow a lot of people who speak English or who are teaching English, but you don't have the time to check everything they're posting. And I try to understand that if people are not checking it out or commenting or something like that, to be honest, I don't think it's about me, or I don't think it's about my work. I understand that is something we need to teach our brain to understand. Because when we start, normally we're like, okay, my friends are not liking my posts on Instagram, and they're not sharing things. And we gotta understand, guys, people don't owe us shit. That's it. Well, if maybe, for example, my mom don't owe me shit, but if she wants to share, of course, guys, our moms are gonna be the best ones normally. I was gonna say 85% of the time, our moms are gonna be the best, because she's gonna be sharing. Can you believe that my mom, she comments in English on my pictures? And what else could I say about that? She's amazing. But for other people from my family, from time to time, some people, or like relatives, or friends from college or school, are gonna send me a message and say, yeah, Lara, I love when I speak in English. I wish I could speak English like that. Or, yes, I have been saying that I'm gonna learn English, but I don't know exactly how to start. But to be honest, it is. But to be honest, most of the time we're going to be saying things we want, but we are not going to be doing anything to achieve this, or to achieve the things we want. So I remember this happened to me like 5-6 years, more than that, but let's say 5 to 6 years ago, when I realized that I could not say I don't have money for this for my whole life. Well, if this is my dream and I really want that, I gotta make this happen. I'm not gonna be only saying, oh yeah, but I don't have the time or I don't have the money, because I know that when you see a piece of news, for example, that says, oh, this happens a lot. Someone studied only using books found in the trash and they got a really nice job from it, or they got approved in a, oh, I forgot the name. Like they were approved to be a federal server, and then you're gonna feel jealous. You're gonna feel like, yeah, this person is special. They could achieve something I couldn't. But you don't know how much this person studied and tried hard, and you don't know if it is their first attempt or not. Normally, we are just gonna see the highlights, right? And to be honest, when I am a student, I am very competitive. As a teacher, I'm less competitive. And of course, I don't endorse competitiveness. Let me check this. Okay, competitiveness. So yeah, I don't endorse that, but I think it could be a boost to some students' motivation and to some people motivation. And we gotta understand that things that work for us when we are studying, learning a language, also work for when we are learning how to play a musical instrument, or when we learn how to play a game that we think it's difficult. It's just like when you used to play Super Mario, and Super Mario was kind of difficult, and you couldn't, and sometimes you couldn't finish a round and you needed help. Well, this happened to me a lot because I have an older brother, so when I couldn't finish a game, I would ask him to help me. But in other areas of our life, it's the same, guys. Sometimes we're gonna be only seeing the highlights of other people, and to be honest, we have downs and lows. We have ups and downs. So, for example, just today, I cried so much today, but now I look pretty, and that's it. This is just how life works. I sometimes I think I have to be my mom and say like, Lara, suck it up. You, damn it. I'm back. Sorry guys, I have a timer. I always have to explain this. I have a timer. Choose less Instagram. So it was my timer. My timer just said, Lara, get out of Instagram. Log out. But okay. Anyways, that's it. We're gonna be competing to other people. And people are gonna say, yeah, don't compete to other people. Compete to yourself. I think both are important, because if you're only comparing to yourself, maybe you're gonna feel that you are going pretty well, because you are only seeing your path from your point of view. And sometimes I like to compare myself to people who are doing the same thing as I'm doing for a similar amount of time, or people who are doing the same thing for longer, like 5, 6, 10 years, 10 years. And it's important to it's important for you to understand where you could get or where you don't want to get. So I remember there was a student of mine. She was my student in college, and we became friends. And I remember we used to talk about the professors we had at university, because some of the professors I had became her professors, right? Because normally a professor from university is gonna stay there for like 10, 20, 30 years. And I remember she would ask, "Oh, Lara, there is this professor and I don't think I'm learning much from his classes. What do you think I should do? Should I give up? Should I just suck it up and keep going to the classes?" And to be honest, I love when students ask what I think. I think we like to be considered, right, guys? So when we ask what we think, we feel considered, we feel heard. So she asked me, and I was like, to be honest, I think that even the classes you think are bad can teach you something. Sometimes the classes are gonna teach you what you want, but sometimes the classes are gonna teach you what you don't want. Sometimes you're gonna watch a class and you're gonna be like, I don't wanna be like this person. I don't wanna teach a class like this. God help me that I will never teach a class like this. And then you can learn. You can learn from pretty much everyone. Even those people that sometimes you would judge and think, okay, what I'm gonna learn from a 13-year-old TikToker? Well, maybe this TikToker has an entrepreneurial mind that you don't have, because she's already on TikTok, right? So it's just like I say, we gotta train our eyes and our senses and our mind to see the world, and analyze things in a less emotional way. I know I'm not the best person to say that, but yes, this is something we practice, just like everything else. So nowadays I am learning a lot, because I was living alone for the last 3 years, and I think living alone changed me a lot, because I used to spend a lot of time by myself, and because of that I could just be my own company for most part of the day. And I normally spend a lot of time with my thoughts. Sometimes people are talking or people are watching something, and I'm just in a mental safari, like a teacher of mine used to say. And sometimes I only in my head thinking things, remembering things, creating scenarios. I am this kind of person. And now that I don't live alone anymore, sometimes it's hard for me to be aware all the time. I gotta be aware of things that are happening, and sometimes and normally people have different paces. See, that's why I love speaking without something to read, because then I can think of the words and just check it out. Ba-da-da, ba-da. Okay, I was just asking myself if I could say different paces, but yeah, we can. So yeah, people have different paces, and normally we like to see the world with our lenses, and my lenses are different from yours. So what I believe is not what other people believe, and what is important for me is not necessarily important for other people, and that's why we gotta make conversation happen. And normally we are not used to have honest and meaningful conversations because we are afraid of what we are afraid of what rephrasing. We are afraid of what the other person is gonna think. We are afraid of how they're gonna see us after we say what we want. And when we know there is something we are struggling with, or there's something bothering us, we normally bottle this down, bottom down. But then there will come a time. Let me check. Ba-da-da. No, I cannot say bottom down for this. Well, I haven't found. Ba-da-da. Bottle down. Maybe bottle down. Let me bottle out. To suddenly decide not to do something that you had intended to do because you feel frightened and lose your confidence. Okay, how about bottle down? Means to quell an emotional or feeling. Yes, that's what I mean. So sometimes we bottle down our emotions because we are afraid of how other people are going to react. And I've been learning a lot from being honest, because I believe there is a difference on how we perceive men and women when we are being more direct. So normally when a guy is being more direct, and you can tell me what you think, guys, in the comments. Normally when a guy is being more direct, it's like, yeah, he's assertive. Oh yes, he know how to get straight to the point. And when a woman is doing the same thing, that she's like, okay, why she's speaking this way? Why she cannot be smiling? Why she's so serious? And sometimes she only wants to, why do we need to be smiling all the time? Is there something to smile about? Is there something funny about what you're gonna say? Because if there isn't, why do we ask women to behave in a certain way? And all this behave in a certain way normally just applies for women, and this irritates me so much, infuriates me actually. And I've been learning how to do it, and it's kind of difficult because depending on how the other person reacts, I'm gonna restrain myself to speak what I want. And of course, I understand that it's not about, okay, I'm gonna be mean or something like that. However, you cannot kill the messenger because of the message. Just the same when you get a hate on Instagram. Okay, maybe the person is gonna come here and say, yeah, you don't have a nice pronunciation, you should have said this and this and that. I could only block the person, or I could let the comment sink and ponderate if makes sense or not. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's only empty hate speech. But sometimes you can get something from that message and say, yeah, I also think my pronunciation should improve. So let me find out how to do it. Or you don't need to do anything about it. It depends on your mindset. It depends on the way you think. Sometimes we're gonna feel like, yeah, this person don't know anything about my life. I'm not gonna change, and that's it. And maybe this is good for you. Again, I believe that if you are over 18, and you are not doing anything bad to anyone, you should live the way you want. I don't mind. I don't care. If you're not littering the streets or the beach or something like that, and if you're not being dishonest to anyone, it doesn't mind. If you're not doing anything bad, right? It's just you living your life, doing the things you want. So again, sometimes we watch lives and we watch videos on YouTube trying to find a recipe on how to do things, a recipe about how to live our lives or how to achieve what we want. And it makes sense because everything is online. If I'm gonna start a YouTube channel, there are so many YouTube channels that I could just check how this person got 1 million subscribers in 6 months, how this person did this and that. And this is normally what we do about digital marketing, right? We look for many ways to do things and we keep studying. Well, I'm talking about myself. I'm using my way of seeing the world here. I study a lot, and normally when I start to act is when I use my judgment filter and I see something and I think I could do much better than this, but I'm not doing it. But this person is doing it, and it's not about saying that it's not worth it. It's just about saying, claps for you. You started from way before I thought about starting. So imagine, okay, when I started teaching, I was already fluent. I was B1, but I was already fluent. And this was in 2014. And I remember there were some classmates of mine who couldn't speak in English. They understood, but their speaking levels were low, like A2. It wasn't even a solid A2, I would say. But these people who said they would only teach Portuguese, they started teaching English. And I was like, why I'm waiting for the right moment if the people I think have lower level than mine are teaching. So normally for me, I start doing things when I see other people doing what I thought, and I think, okay, I think I could do better. Nowadays, of course, because action is my word of 2023. So if you have a word for 2023, please type it here in the comments. So my word is action. So for 2023, I don't want to be thinking a lot about putting my work in the world. I want to plan, do it, put in the world, analyze, and do it again. And maybe I can do it with different courses. And I don't know, I like to have the lives and everything here because I think is a way to come back here and see how are things going. Like, I can go back to the first Little Talk sessions, which was, let me check the date, I think it was December 2nd. Yes, so the first Little Talk sessions was in December 2nd. Since then, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is our 8th session of Little Talks. And I will keep doing it because I love speaking English. And yes, there are not many places where I can practice my English right now. Last semester, I took a conversation class, but anyways, this live here, Lara, you can have a conversation class. Yes, I have a conversation class. I had a conversation class for teachers last semester, and I can talk to people online. But it's not the same as having the live here where my followers can watch, and it's just different. It's gonna be here maybe forever, maybe for 5 years, maybe for 2 years, maybe until we have another social media which is important than Instagram. I don't know if you think the neighbor social media is better, because I'm not there actually. Maybe I should be there. I don't know. I feel the opposite of FOMO. What's the opposite of FOMO? There is an opposite of FOMO. Do you know what, Aline? Opposite of FOMO. JOMO. Joy of missing out. Have you heard this one? It's JOMO. Joy of missing out. Guys, I don't have fear of missing out. I have joy of missing out. So sometimes it's a nice one, right? So sometimes I'm just happy that I'm not part of, okay, there is a new trend on the neighbor social media. Let me share. JOMO, joy of missing out. Let me read what we have there. Let me move here. While JOMO is the opposite of FOMO, JOMO, or joy of missing out, is a situation where a person enjoys missing out on things he or she doesn't want to miss. This comfortable feeling makes the person more able to be grateful for what he has and establish good relationships with himself and those around him. Sounded pretty good. But yeah, that's it. I don't mind. I'm okay. It's just like when there is a new TV series and everyone's talking about, again, everything spreads, guys. With Squid Game. Everyone was talking about Squid Game. And then I was like, I don't want to see it. I remember I watched Squid Game 2 years after it was released. I actually watched at the end of the last year. Because when something starts to be trend or mainstream, because after become a trend, it's going to become mainstream at any point. After something becomes mainstream, I actually reject. So I normally want to wait more until I watch, because I want to forget what I have seen in social media. I don't know if it makes sense. But again, guys, yeah, it's see, now you can use joy of missing out, and maybe it works better for you than fear of missing out. Thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna see you guys next Friday, 5:30-ish. So it's not 5:30, it's 5:30-ish. And that's it. And for next week, remember, guys, if you want to participate, you can request. Sometimes it's just me talking about my things, having some insights live. But that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for being here with me. Today I used my timer because I'm practicing my time management. But that's it. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you, Aline. Bye-bye. Take care, guys. See you.